Financials. I'm one of those individuals as a CEO. It took me a time to even accept the responsibility as a CEO. I always have wanted to be in the background and put my staff out front. But financials is something that is so important that you have to follow. You're totally responsible for your financials, because at the end of the day, no one's going to come looking for your staff. They're going to come looking for you. And so therefore, you have to know what's going out and what's coming in. You hire your CPA or your bookkeeper or your accounting department. That's fine, well and good. Mm-hmm. But you as the CEO, and I'm real strong on this, is because it can definitely bring your business down if you don't know where your money is. And let me just give a quick example. We had a couple of, back in probably about 2010 or somewhere, there was a big economic downturn. And we had to close down programs. We had to close down housing resources that we had available. And in doing this, I said, okay, we'll just close it down. We'll go back to the corporate office, readjust, restructure the whole bit. But little did I know that I had a complete supply store. I mean, all the supplies that Office Depot had in my business. I could actually literally be an Office Depot. Yeah, I could be a store. And it's not, from my perspective, there's no blame there. It was just because I wanted to make sure my staff had every and anything they needed to operate effectively and efficiently. But little did I know that their way of thinking effective and efficiently was not the same as mine. I mean, I wanted you to make sure you had pencils, papers, and things like that. They want color notepads. They wanted, name tags in a certain way. I mean, just all the fun things that if I was a staff, I probably would have already did the same thing. But what I now realize that you really have to have budgets set in place for each division, department. These things are so important, and you have your managers to be accountable for what is being spent in each of their divisions. So it's real important. That's a big, big lesson that I've learned.
I was just going to chime in, having had the opportunity to read CEO Real Talk, chiming in on what these ladies put out there. That what Ms. Garnett just shared with us was really one area that they talked about and discussed in the book. They hit on a myriad of little nuances. There are just so many that we deal with every day as professionals, and we often take them for granted. And I just like the way they just kind of played them each out to really just make it come to life for us. So for me, that I keep the little book as a little go-to. It's like, just in case, because we all have a tendency to fall into patterns that are just a natural part of who we are. Like she just mentioned something as small as, the cute little stickers. Well, the cute little stickers have a cute little price. And that's going to affect your cute little bottom line at the end of the day. So all those little things are just things to keep in mind. So I love the way they touched on those areas.
In writing, get past the obvious. It's really sharing the less obvious. And I'll piggyback on what Garnet and Marnita is saying. But they're being very kind, because those are the little expenses. When in 2010, when we merged locations, it was transition that we moved into a larger location. But I was going to run them, parallel for a while for the community, not to look at the other one as a loss, right? However, upon completing the merging, I had 6 copiers. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Those are the big ones. See, they're talking about the Post-its. I'm talking about, really? I've got
4 copiers.
No, it was 6. Wow. 6 copiers. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I
had about
4.
40 surge protectors. They run $40 a piece.
Yes.
Like, what are we?
Not to mention the utility bills.
Exactly.
What about the vans?
No, multiple vans. Oh, but hold on. Wait a minute. I had those surge protectors. Let me get back to that. Am I providing utilities for my neighbors? Because obviously these long extension cords that we have, it's purchasing without the thought of what's in stock.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Inventory control, we all know it. Sounds familiar. Did you check it?
I get
before
the
you
same
order.
list. I used to get the same list and the same amount that needed to be reordered every month.
Right. I mean, when you're talking about the real estate industry, it's bigger than that.
Well, I'm just listening to the direction we're going, even though there are many nuances that affect us. At the end of the day, we're in business to be profitable.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, no matter what we say or do, we are very passionate about that bottom line.
Yes.
And anything that affects it. So that's what I'm hearing over and over again from each of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, if you have a second half at home, they're taking score. They're doing the dollars, and they're going to remind you about them. But at the end of the day, get in front of it. That's all we're saying. Get past the obvious. Is let us share through our transparency of what we've experienced, the scars. You don't have to do that anymore because we're here. We're a voice for women-owned businesses. That these things, if it hasn't shown up, it will. It's not if.
It's when.
It's when. And it shows up at different levels of your business. It can show up at startup. It can show up when you're 10 years in, 20 years in. It just got a new name and a higher price to pay.
Exactly.
Cost of doing business, yeah.